Hi, I'm Lori Betts. Welcome to the Golden Years. This month we are featuring Salvation Army. Stay tuned and we'll be back in a few moments.
Gaining weight was easy. All I had to do was sit down and eat. Losing weight's a lot harder. I have to work at it every day. But with every step, I lower my risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And that makes every step, every choice, every day very much worth the effort.
Learn how you can help stop diabetes by losing weight, eating healthy, and staying active. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES.
Our special guest today is Nick Solar from the Brunswick Police Department, and he is one of our co-chairs for Salvation Army. Nick, tell me what's going on at the Army.
Well, first of all, Lori, thanks for having me here today. If I can digress a little bit, I serve as Community Policing Coordinator for the City of Brunswick. I've been in that position for 10 years, and how should I say, concurrent with that, I've also been co-chair for Northern Medina County Salvation Army. Our particular service unit, that we like to call it here in Northern Medina County, serves residents of Valley City, Brunswick Hills, City of Brunswick, and also Hinckley. So those 4 areas, which is basically pretty much all of Northern Medina County.
What features do you want to bring to the community about Salvation Army?
Well, basically, Salvation Army, our particular unit here is a service unit, and what I mean by that is we provide emergency assistance to people in need here in Northern Medina County. So the assistance can range from anywhere where you have homeless individuals. If I could talk a little bit about that. Here in Brunswick, we tend to be what we call an interstate community because obviously we have I-71 that runs through the city of Brunswick. And quite often people come into town by chance, by accident, because they're driving from, point A and they're going out to California to find their fame and fortune. They're going to be a celebrity or whatever. They're out of gas. They don't have lodging. They don't have money. Those sorts of things. So we can provide them with some emergency assistance to maybe get them on their way further down the road, rather than tying up a lot of resources or things like that. In those regards, one of the things, and we do that for other residents too that have issues, we can do a gas voucher. And what I mean by that is people are out of gas. We're able to provide them with one of the local gas stations with a $20 voucher. And this is all done, Lori, with the assistance of the police department. So in other words, if hypothetically, let's say you were to come in and say, hey, I'm out of gas, I need help, I need to get, I've got to take my mother to a doctor's appointment, my check doesn't come in till later, whatever the story is. First of all, the police department's going to check on a couple things. To make sure that you have a valid driver's license. So if you don't have a driver's license, you shouldn't be driving anyhow. We're not going to provide you with that type of assistance. The other thing is you need to have proof of insurance. If you don't, State of Ohio requires that you be insured, so we're not going to, put anyone at risk by giving you gas money when you don't have insurance in case there's an accident or something like that happens. Once we can prove those 2 things, we take you up to the one of our local service stations, and you can get up to $20 worth of gasoline. Granted, it's not a full tank, but $20 at least, especially if you're driving around locally, will get you from point A to point B if you need, to go to a job interview or doctor's appointment or whatever the situation may be. So that's one of the little things we do. Quite often, and unfortunately the way the economy is extremely bad, we're seeing more and more homeless people out of jobs. We can also provide what we call a night of emergency shelter with one of our local motels.
One night.
One night. Unless it's a weekend, you know, we look at it situationally. And once again, this is usually done through the police department because a lot of these people come in during the evening hours when there's no one at our office here in Brunswick. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. But what they do is they come in to the police department. Once again, police department, police officers will run a check to make sure these people aren't wanted or have other, you know, legal issues that need to be addressed. Once that's done, they're taken either to Sleep In or Express In here locally and given a night's lodging. We also have gift coupons from McDonald's that we will use. You know, if they want food, we'll give them a little $5 packet so they can have breakfast or whatever the next morning and you know, get them on their way. So
and the hotels work with the Army. The
hotels work with the Salvation Army. They bill the Salvation Army directly. Okay. And that's one issue that I'd like to bring up is that Salvation Army does not directly give out cash. So in other words, you come into the office and say, hey, I need groceries, I need this, I need that, can you give me $20? Well, you will not get that. You'll get a voucher or a gift card or something like that because Salvation Army has their particular rules that they go by, and one of those is you do not directly give cash to anyone. So it's all, you know, paid through vouchers or whatever. And our treasurer, Bruce Vaughn, does an excellent job keeping track of all these particular things.
In this economy, do you see a lot of transients going through?
Yes. Unfortunately, a lot of families locally that don't have money for food, that are out because their house is foreclosed. These are getting a little bit into more complex issues, but I guess the one thing that I would like to impart on the audience, if they find themselves in trouble with a foreclosure issue or they know they're going to have problems, try to address those as early as possible with your bank or lending institution rather than wait till the sheriff's department's there saying, boom, you have to be out of your residence. Because then, you know, you really have the pressure on to find a place and those sorts of things, so it's a little bit more difficult. But there are other agencies that are able to help if you try to address the problem early on.
Does Salvation get involved as far as like paying any like disconnects or reconnects?
Correct.
Utilities?
Correct. Our administrative worker at our office is Linda Repazinski, and she works with clients on utility disconnects, so that could be water, electric, gas, you know, those sorts of things, to make sure that they don't, you know, lose these particular services. So she will work with that. She will also see, you know, we can't pay full month's rent, but to help out for rents and those sorts of things when available. So I don't want the audience to believe that we're the cure-all for everything, but
Correct.
We're kind of a little bit of a Band-Aid that we can actually help out maybe until you get on your feet and are able to, you know, take care of some of your other bills.
And Salvation Army used to be in this building, and now where are they now located?
Our office now is on Nationwide Parkway. The address is 2888 Nationwide Parkway. The phone number for our office here in Brunswick is 330-273-9176. And as I stated earlier, Linda Repazinski is our administrative worker there at the office. She does have voicemail, so if she's not in or if it's after hours, you can leave a voicemail and she'll get back to you as soon as possible. Or if she has directions, as I said earlier, a lot of these emergency things come up in the evening, so you're directed to contact the Brunswick Police Department.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Nick, I would like you to share with the audience some of the programs that the Salvation Army is involved with here in northern Medina County. Welcome back to the Golden Years, and we will continue our interview with Nick Solar from the Salvation Army. And I would like you to highlight the programs that Salvation does do in our area.
Okay, Lori. First of all, we do have a committee here that committee aboard for
Wonderful committee.
Yes, because you're on it.
Yes.
Obviously, that would be one reason. But anyhow, our committee does a couple programs, basically ourselves, for lack of a better word to describe it. One of those in the fall has to do with senior citizens, and this is one that I particularly enjoy. We have some fun with it. We do a senior bingo night at United Labor Towers here in Brunswick. And our committee members go out and we purchase a few $100s of non-perishable food items and things like that to be used as prizes. And then our committee goes, whatever night we have set aside, we go and actually call bingo. So we call several games of bingo, and everybody wins. We keep calling till however many people show up that night, till everybody wins. They get to come up and pick up a prize. So we play bingo basically, Lori, until all the prizes are gone, and hopefully keep everybody happy. And then there's some baked goods, so they have a little social networking event there in there.
And the seniors greatly appreciate us being there.
I think they do. Like I say, we have fun with it. I think they do, and it's a kind of a little break from their maybe normal routine, and it doesn't cost. There's no cost to them to do senior bingo.
Staying with the seniors, I want to cut you off.
Go ahead.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, our committee members go around and distribute little, can I call them baskets, I guess, with
or goodie bags.
Goodie bags with toiletries and those sorts of things to residents at United Labor Towers. So you do this a little bit after Christmas, because you get stuff at Christmas and then kind of boom, everything drops off, and there's kind of a slow period. So for New Year's, give them a little bag of goodies to put a smile on their face. And they do, as you said, they do appreciate those little things.
And I'm part of that, so it's neat when you bang the door, because normally we put a can of pop in there. So you bang it on the door, so then we say Happy New Year, and they come out and they say thank you so much. So, and that leaves you with a really good feeling.
And then we do visits to nursing homes around Easter time. And that's another thing that kind of really touches the hearts of our committee members. We purchase little stuffed animals, mostly like chicks and bunnies, because we do this around Easter time. And we visit Willowwood, Pearlview, and Life Care in Valley City, the nursing homes that are in our particular geographic area. And we give all the residents one of the little stuffed animals. And once again, they very much appreciate even just the few seconds that we stop in the room, just to show that somebody cares about them, and give them a little gift around Easter time.
And we make their day.
We sure do. And as I'm talking about these things, we kind of try to go womb to tomb, I guess, if I can say that on stuff. So it's not like it's all for kids or all for seniors. It's wherever the need is. That's where we try to serve. Our one big program that we do every year is our back to school program. What we do there is Linda at the office takes applications for children that are in need of clothing or essentials to go back to school in the fall. We have set aside I shouldn't say but guidelines for income. So we don't want people that have sufficient money, trying to get things. It's people that in need. Mostly it's those that qualify for the free reduced lunches at school are the ones that we serve in the back to school program. This year we had over 280 children that we served, and they were allowed to spend, I believe, somewhere ballpark between $65 and $70. And we do this program with Kmart. So they've been working with us for several years now. So we set aside a couple days where they can go in and shop and buy, their clothing, whatever they need, underwear, socks. I mean, you don't see that, but that's stuff that you need. Obviously you need on a day-to-day basis. So shirts, pants, skirts, shoes, whatever they need, they're allowed to purchase up to the $65 or $70. We basically set aside a certain amount of money and then take how many children we have and divide that by the money we have available. So that's how we determine the amount of money they're allowed to spend. So it, how should I say, varies from year to year based on the money we receive and the number of children that apply for this assistance. Also in July, another free program that Salvation Army does, and this is worked through Linda at the office, is camp. Where children can go to camp for, I believe it's 5 days during the summer. Usually sometime in July is when it's done. So they get to participate in activities and stuff like that, go to camp, just like children who had the means, to go to a camp would be able to do.
Good. Great programs that Salvation has. What is your funding? Where do you get your monies?
We get our funding, we can receive funding year-round if somebody wants to donate. I don't want to say I'm somewhat selfish, but to put it in the term, wherever you donate to, if you donate money to Salvation Army in another area, it stays in that area. So we ask if people that are watching that want to donate, they can donate to the Salvation Army. You can send a check into the office. Like I say, the address is 2888 Nationwide Parkway here in Brunswick. The big, our dynamic big, I don't think Webster has a word that they can give me, but our big program for the year is the Red Kettle Drive, and that's recognized worldwide. What we do, we start around Thanksgiving time and
Thanksgiving Eve.
Thanksgiving Eve, hopefully. That's a ballpark if we can, get in, because we're dependent on the local business people. And normally we ring at Kmart, Giant Eagle, Bueller's, and then also at Drug Mart when we have volunteers available. So we're dependent on those businesses to let us man a kettle there, because it's their business. They have the right. If they don't want us there, that's their business.
And we're fortunate enough to ring inside.
Correct.
So far.
So far. Some of those are in a vestibule where it's still cold, but you're not standing directly outside. So when the temperature dips, you're kind of out of the elements, but it's still in some of the vestibules like Drug Mart and Kmart, it still can be a little bit chilly. So, people need to dress accordingly. The big thing that we ask for is here in northern Medina County, our kettles are operated strictly by volunteers. What I mean is everyone that you see ringing a kettle is not paid. They're doing that out of the kindness, generosity of their heart, their own goodwill. And unfortunately, we can only raise money where we have somebody manning a kettle. So we're extremely dependent on volunteers. Obviously, we like money, but we can't raise money when we don't have a volunteer at the kettle.
And can we share with the audience, every penny that goes in the kettle drive stays here in Brunswick?
It stays in this
in
northern
area,
Medina County area,
yes.
to provide services and things like that. So I don't want to say just Brunswick, but our northern Medina County area.
And whether they put a handful of change in there or if they put a couple dollars, $5, it all adds up.
Correct, it does. And we find all kinds of, one year I found, because I helped count the money, because I moved the kettles back and forth to make sure that there's empty kettles at each location. So, and the counting is all done at a secure location. So the Brunswick Police Department allows us to count the money there, so it's not like we're taking it to somebody's home or things like that. The kettles are kept locked. Only certain people have keys. So, we're extremely conscious about security. So we do count the money there. But
And thank you, Chief DeForest, for allowing that
Yes,
to happen.
I think I've digressed. I wanted to tell a story. One year, I actually found a Krugerrand wrapped in two $1 bills, and which was a unique thing. Krugerrand is a South African gold coin, and we were able to sell the coin for a little over $900. So that was a big donation. It was anonymous. There was no note or anything there. So if the person happens to be watching, I certainly thank them for their generosity, because, like I say, that is a big donation. One lady I want to mention who does an outstanding job, and her name is Judy Von Duke. Judy is our kettle coordinator, and she has a computer and her phone with her pretty much nonstop. She's the one that takes all the volunteer information and does the scheduling. So she is a very important person in our Red Kettle Drive. If anyone is interested in volunteering, I will give Judy's phone number now. It's 330-760-1623. And I'll repeat it because it's so important to me. It's 330-760-1623. And, she will be starting very soon. If you want to call her to start scheduling these slots at these various locations. So you can sign up for an hour or whatever you want. We have groups that come in that will take maybe a whole day or things like that. One thing I would ask the audience, if something does happen where you have a group or an individual and you signed up for the day and things happen. Granted, let's say you become ill and, I got a bad cold or whatever, I really can't do that. Try to call Judy back if she can fill that location again, or at least so we have a heads up that, that person isn't going to be there. Like I say, our most important thing is, in order to raise money, we need people volunteering, manning those particular kettles. And I know our community, I almost said our community, our committee takes a couple days there, right? Right Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving Eve, where we man the kettles for those particular days at a certain location. But unfortunately, there's only so many people on the committee that that can do it. And we have several volunteers that actually almost have a little social network that spend an extraordinary amount of hours. We had one gentleman, I'll mention his name, Richard Atkinson, that volunteered, and he did, I think, ballpark 88 hours last year, which was an outstanding, outstanding effort. And he was actually recognized by our committee as Volunteer of the Year last year for all the particular time that he spent, and we certainly appreciate even the people that come for an hour. I'm not, I don't demean that. I don't expect everybody to do 88 hours, but even if you're doing an hour, you're a great help to us.
And when you're talking about groups, it could be your church group getting together, compete with each other. Like the Brunswick Rotary, we do a day. The Optimist Club does a day. In, like you said, 1 or 2 hours. Families. I mean, it could be a nice family night just to say, okay, we're going to go up and ring the bell for an hour and then we'll go out for pizza.
Right.
You're helping the people in the community in need.
School groups, organizations, sports groups, and you hate to say it, but who knows? At some point in time, we might need that kind of help. You hope it doesn't happen and things like that, but with the economy, the way things go, you never know when you're going to need some emergency or some type of assistance or help.
And it's very touching when you're standing receiving the money at the kettle. Many people have said, thank you so much for helping me. A couple of years ago, I was in need. You guys helped out. So, I mean, that's a good feeling, and you walk away with a good feeling. Because volunteering is my second job. I really do like volunteering, and it's not costing you anything. You're just giving up your valuable time to help other people. So we would really appreciate the audience to consider volunteering an hour, couple hours, calling Judy's phone number. Once again, at 330. Go ahead.
330-760-1623.
Okay.
And I'd like to add one thing too, when we're talking especially for seniors, the one thing that I hear a lot when we're at a kettle is a lot of the seniors that were veterans of Korean War, World War II, Vietnam or whatever, that they appreciate the Salvation Army because how generous and how nice the Salvation Army was to them when they were in the service. So they said, I always give to Salvation Army because, you know, they were nice to us when we were in the service.
Okay. And I know sometimes it does get annoying because when you're walking up to the stores and doing your shopping, you're thinking, oh, the kettle's there again. Well, like I said, a couple pennies, it doesn't matter because it all adds up.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be offended by us being there because our goal this year is to fill those time slots, and we want to be out there so we in turn can help our community as a whole and the people in need.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, I am so glad you joined us today.
Well, thank you for having me, Lori, and I appreciate you giving me the time to talk about this important cause that really does help the residents of Northern Medina County.
Yes, it does. So thank you. And thank you, the audience, for joining us again this month for the Golden Years and having Salvation Army as our topic. And so when you see the red kettle, put in as little or as much as you want. Thank you and have a good month.